Jesus turns water into wine. At a wedding in Cana, the host ran out of wine. Jesus told the servants to fill jars with water. Then he turned the water into the best wine anyone had tasted. It was his very first miracle. John 2 verses 1 to 11. Jesus calms the storm. One day, Jesus and his friends were on a boat when a big storm came. The disciples were scared, but Jesus stood up and said, "Peace, be still." The wind and waves stopped immediately. Mark 4 verses 35 to 41. Jesus heals a blind man. A man who had been blind since birth met Jesus. Jesus made mud, put it on the man's eyes, and told him to wash in a pool. When he did, he could see for the first time in his life. John 9 verses 1 to 12. Jesus feeds 5,000 people. A huge crowd followed Jesus, and they were hungry. A boy gave him 5 loaves and 2 fish. Jesus gave thanks, and then he multiplied the food, enough to feed thousands with leftovers. John 6 verses 1 to 14. Jesus walks on water. One night, Jesus' friends were on a boat again. Jesus walked to them on top of the water. They were afraid, but he said, "Don't be afraid. It's me." Even Peter walked on water for a moment. Matthew 14 verses 22 to 33. Jesus raises a little girl to life. A man named Jairus begged Jesus to help his sick daughter. Before they arrived, she had died. But Jesus took her hand and said, "Little girl, get up." And she came back to life. Mark 5 verses 21 to 43. Jesus heals a paralyzed man. Some friends lowered a paralyzed man through a roof to see Jesus. Jesus said, "Your sins are forgiven. Get up and walk." And the man stood up and walked home. Luke 5 verses 17 to 26. Jesus helps a deaf and mute man. A man who couldn't hear or speak was brought to Jesus. Jesus touched his ears and tongue, looked up to heaven, and said, "Be open." Right away, the man could hear and talk clearly. Mark 7 verses 31 to 37. Jesus brings Lazarus back from the dead. Lazarus had died and was in the tomb for 4 days. Jesus wept, then said, "Lazarus, come out." And Lazarus walked out, alive and well. John 11 verses 1 to 44.